So, amidst all of the releases that are coming out right now in October, whether it's on Shudder or whether it's in the theater or whether it's, wherever the fuck, Hulu, there's also Screambox. Remember Screambox? I haven't talked about that much, mostly because I got rid of it, but also because I haven't really seen anything that they have released. Like, I haven't seen anybody talking about anything. But I always randomly check upcominghorrormovies.com to always make sure if there's something coming out. They don't have everything on there, but they have a damn good list. So I check it probably once every week or two just to make sure I'm not missing anything. And there was a Screambox original or exclusive called The Draft, which was an Indonesian film. And I was like, okay, let me throw this on. So I don't have Screambox, but I do have Hoopla. I've brought up Hoopla on here many times. Hoopla is a library service, and they get most Screambox exclusives the same day as Screambox. So I just optioned for that, and I've never had to pay for Screambox exclusives since, and everything else on Screambox I have. So this is, as I said, an Indonesian horror flick, and the big thing about Indonesian horror, and I've covered a lot of it on the channel. I would say I've probably covered more Indonesian horror than any other American YouTube horror channel. I would venture to guess with extreme confidence that's the case. I do a lot of it. I haven't done as much this year, but in recent years I've done a lot. And one of the things I always talk about, especially with Southeast Asian horror in general, is that they all have a very similar kind of setup and vibe to them. And they can all kind of start to blend together, save for a few exceptions. Well, this one was totally different, which I am very excited to say. I was pretty blown away by the fact that this didn't feel like all of the other Indonesian horror films I've watched. This actually paved its own way, and did its own thing. And while this is not a concept that's super original or anything, it's definitely more original than the other films that they typically make in this country. So, this is a very self-aware, very meta horror with some comedy. I guess you could consider this a horror comedy, but I don't really see it that way. I see it as like a horror with some action and some comedy and some meta self-awareness. There's also some like really interesting musical choices in this movie. I was kind of taken aback a couple times. Like, is this music really fitting this scene? I think it's meant to be playful, because of the self-awareness of the movie. I think they threw things in like that to kind of almost have more fun with it. And yeah, I mean, do I think this concept could have been handled better? Yes. Do I think that they still handled it pretty well? Yes. Now, I am beating around the bush about what it is about because I want you to experience it for yourself, because I'm definitely not going to reveal what this movie's about I went in blind, and you should as well. It's some friends. They go up to like a cabin in the woods, basically. There's this guy that's there who keeps referring to himself as their servant, which is really fucking weird. And I'm like, is this a typical thing over there that I'm like, what is this guy? I know they call, like, I don't know if it's a sign of respect or what, but like older people, like maybe not related to them, they like to call uncle, like men. That's what this guy is called, but he always refers to himself as the servant in this. So at first, as the movie's going along, it's kind of just playing out very classically, and then it becomes something else. And I'm not gonna compare it to something because that would kind of give it away. But I as soon as it revealed what it was, and the characters realized it and were catching on with it as the audience was, I was like, okay, I've definitely seen this concept before, and this is one of those things that you just can't overthink. You just got to roll with it, and that's what I did. I was just like, look, okay, this concept doesn't really make any sense, right? It's impossible to talk about without spoilers. So you should just go check it out for yourself. If you're into Indonesian horror and you are like, I wish they would do something different, and you want to see like a meta take on Indonesian horror, this is it. Yeah, I mean, it's not super successful, but I think it is I think it is a very worthwhile effort for you if you are a fan of Southeast Asian horror and want to see something that at least tried to change things up. So good on them for that. And I like the characters, you know. I'm beating around the bush, as I said, like a bunch, because I'm really trying to be very cautious with what I say. But the title, if you think about it, can maybe clue you in. But yeah, cool film. I'm happy with this one. I'm glad I checked this out. So that's really all I can say. I hate that I can't talk more about it, but it is what it is. But they had fun with this, and so did I. So good on them for making something unique and having a good time and being playful and messing around with a smaller budget and kind of acknowledging what they know their audience knows, and being meta and playing around with it. And that's it. That's all I'm going to say. All right. That's that. I'll see you in the comments. Tell me if you watch it. Screenbox, Hoopla, either one. I don't know if it's rentable. I don't think it is, but let me know. Adios.